Think about the last time you bought something you didn't plan to, or agreed with an opinion you hadn't thought much about, or felt angry after reading just one headline. What if none of that happened by accident? What if the decision felt like yours, but the direction wasn't? Manipulation doesn't shout. It whispers, and it works best when you don't realize it's happening. By the end of this video, you won't just understand manipulation. You'll start catching it in real time. Manipulation isn't about mind control. It's about influence, applied so smoothly that resistance never appears. You might be thinking, I'm not easily manipulated. That thought alone is worth noticing. Today, we'll break down how manipulation actually works, why your brain is vulnerable to it, how it's used in media, relationships, marketing, and power structures, and how it quietly shapes your decisions, emotions, and identity, often without you ever realizing it. Watch closely, because the moment you understand manipulation, it loses its grip. If someone tried to control you directly, you'd push back immediately. So manipulators do something smarter. They make you believe the idea came from you. This is called covert influence, shaping choices while preserving the illusion of free will. Have you ever walked into a store just to look and walked out with something you suddenly felt you needed? No one forced you. No one pressured you. Yet the lighting, the layout, the music, and the placement of items were all designed to guide your choice. That's manipulation. Not through force, but through design. The less visible it is, the more effective it becomes. Your brain processes thousands of decisions every day. To survive, it relies on shortcuts called cognitive biases. Manipulation works by exploiting these shortcuts. For example, authority bias. If a confident person with status says it, your brain relaxes scrutiny. You trust the expert, the verified account, the confident voice. Not because they're right, but because certainty feels safe. Social proof. When thousands of people agree, your brain assumes validity. This many people can't be wrong. They can be. They often are. Because popularity is not accuracy, it's just visibility. Repetition effect. Hear something often enough and it begins to feel true, even without evidence. Manipulators don't argue. They repeat, frame, and reinforce. Manipulation doesn't overpower your thinking. It quietly turns it off. Logic is slow. Emotion is fast. That's why manipulation targets how you feel, not what you know. Here's a real scenario. You open your phone feeling fine. You read one headline, and suddenly you're angry, afraid, or anxious. You didn't reason your way there. You arrived emotionally. That's not weakness. That's biology. Once emotion is activated, critical thinking weakens. That's why ads sell happiness, not products. Headlines provoke outrage, not clarity. Manipulators create urgency. Act now. Last chance. Emotion rushes you forward before your mind can ask questions. Up to this point, manipulation sounds external, something other people do. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The most powerful manipulation happens inside your own head. Because once an idea feels familiar, once it feels emotionally charged, your brain starts defending it, even if it's wrong. At that point, manipulation no longer needs a manipulator. Manipulation doesn't need falsehoods. It only needs framing. Example: this product is 90% fat-free, sounds healthy, while this product contains 10% fat, sounds unhealthy. Same fact, but completely different reaction. Framing controls what you focus on and what you ignore. In arguments, media, and everyday conversations, the person who controls the frame decides what feels important and what disappears from view. You don't see reality. You see a version of it.
Manipulation rarely demands everything up front.
It asks for something small, then something slightly bigger, then something you never planned to give. Think about relationships where boundaries slowly disappear, or jobs where expectations quietly expand, or beliefs that shift so gradually you don't notice the change. This is known as the foot in the door technique. Each step feels harmless, until one day you stop and think, how did I get here? Manipulation doesn't shove you forward. It walks beside you.
Not all manipulation is active.
Some of the most powerful manipulation comes from what's not said. Affection withheld, approval delayed, or clarity denied. Your brain hates uncertainty, so you adjust. You try harder. You question yourself, not because you were ordered to, but because you want relief. That's power without commands. Manipulation doesn't work because you're weak. It works because you're human. In fact, intelligence can increase vulnerability because confidence reduces checking. I didn't notice it at first either, and that's what unsettled me most.
The antidote to manipulation
is slowing down. Ask yourself, what emotion is being triggered right now? Who benefits if I believe this? Am I being rushed? What information is missing? Manipulation needs speed, while clarity destroys it. Even a pause is resistance. Here's the truth most people never hear. Manipulation is everywhere, but it only controls those who never learn to see it. Once you understand how influence works, you stop being pushed by the world and start navigating it consciously. People who question calmly, who pause when others rush, who notice what's not being said, they move through the world differently. So the real question isn't whether manipulation exists, it's this. Now that you can see it, what will you allow to influence you? And what will you no longer give permission to? Before you click away, notice what happens next. In a moment, you'll feel the impulse to do something, like agree, comment, or move on. That impulse isn't good or bad, just observe it. If you want to test your awareness right now, leave a comment saying what emotion this video triggered, not what you think about it. No pressure, just curiosity. And if you want to keep sharpening this skill, you already know where the like and subscribe button is. The difference is, now you're choosing to click it consciously.